Hello everyone, my name is General Fancy Pants, and welcome back to Memoria. When we last left off, we're kind of in a bad situation here. Bryda decided that she was just gonna do what she wanted to do and took over the mask, and now she's basically under the control of the servant of Satinav, and we need to figure out a way to change all this back, basically, because we are kind of not doing well right now. The force is being changed and everything is being changed back to basically Sadja's time. And so let's talk to Fahi one more time.
Search the burial chamber and show me any clues you find. Perhaps then we'll know what has to be done.
Alright, so we have to find a clue to help us undo what Bryda just did. So as you can see, the staff is all back to its regular staff self rather than its semi-human form. There's a tomb down here, and what's this? A ruby.
Sadja's ruby! The Djinn of Time must have torn it off the mask.
Okay, let's grab that. That's probably going to be a good clue. Okay, so now let's see. Let's give the ruby to Fahi.
All I found was the ruby.
Give it to me. Giacomo Nauta told me you were an amateur mage. Is that true?
Yeah, I can break things.
Well, I can also do a bit of magic. If I hold something in my hand, I can catch a glimpse of its past. That was the main reason the staff chose me as his companion, you see. Now, let's see what story this stone tells.
It's kind of a cool trick he has. Very convenient.
Curious. When the ruby was found after Sadja's disappearance in the garden, it had a crack, and the reversal spell the Ore Adept had woven into it had vanished utterly. The mages had to reapply it completely. But there's more. I see a palace garden, and in it, 2 children.
This is a brooch from Mengbilla. My father gave it to me.
Oh, can I see?
There. And here, a ruby from the dwarf tunnels in the brazen sword.
It's so beautiful.
When I'm Caliph, I'll have all the treasures in Avestan gathered in my palace. Fazar will be more radiant than in the times of the great Moguls. My subjects will lie at my feet for all eternity.
You'll be a good ruler, Kasim. All the history books will tell of you.
Ha! Do you see the sign on my arm? It's the calligraphy of my sovereignty, the sign of my dynasty. The whole world will bow before this symbol. There are great times ahead of us, Sadja. Truly great times.
I see a prince and a princess playing together. He's trying to impress her. What could this mean?
Okay, so here we have a choice. Either they were siblings or they were friends, and based on Kasim's attitude towards Sadja and how he was speaking about his dynasty, and he was saying like my father and my dynasty, and that would not make sense if they were siblings, if Sadja and Kasim were siblings, because then it would be like he would word it a little differently, I would think. I could be wrong though, but I'm going to say that they were friends, because that just doesn't make sense, the way he was speaking to her. He wouldn't say my dad, it would be like just dad, for instance, or, you know, father gave me this ruby and this brooch and things like that. So I'm going to say they were friends.
Sadja and the prince were once friends.
Wait. There's more. Something's happening. A palace guard arrives.
Let me go!
You're so pathetic. Isn't that how you like to be treated? Like the dog that you are.
At least I have my own teeth.
You please me, Sadja, more than I had hoped.
The prince is tormenting the princess. The guard holds her tight. She's at his mercy. But why?
She committed a crime, or she's being harangued for no reason. Given how the prince has treated her thus far, I'm gonna guess that she's being harangued for no reason. Because, I mean, I could see where Sadja might steal something, or do something maybe considering how she has been treated, but I think at this point she's probably a little more innocent than that. So I'm gonna say she's being harangued for no reason.
Maybe there was no reason, and she was punished unjustly.
They finally let her go. She remains alone in the courtyard.
Really? What are you doing? Are you tattooing yourself?
I'm writing my own dynasty.
Do you even know what the word means? Dynasty? You can't simply write greatness into your blood. You're either born with it or not.
I'll prove it to you.
Do you think you could ever be greater than I? You're amusing. Guards! Throw her back into the gutter where you found her. I'm done having my fun with her. Then fetch me a new girl.
Sadja wasn't a princess at all. She was only a poor girl from the streets.
So what?
I don't know, but...
What's so funny?
Don't you understand? The solution to the riddle. Sadja's words outside the burial chamber. It was so obvious all along.
It was? I don't get it.
I still don't understand.
Why was Sadja taken into the burial chamber by the group of heroes?
Because she was a princess. But she wasn't.
Yes, she merely claimed to be a princess, and as such, she was supposed to be able to decipher the ancient inscription.
But if she wasn't, how could she read it anyway?
You'll have to come up with the rest yourself.
Alright, I mean, I do get it, but I'm gonna say I still don't understand. Basically, Sadja, since she wasn't a princess, she wouldn't have been able to read the inscription, but she's been playing a princess the whole time that she was with that group. So they assumed that she could read the inscription above the door, but... yeah, so we'll say I still don't understand.
What did Sadja's past have to do with a stone and a scarab?
Geron, the real riddle was never the inscription itself, but rather Sadja's reaction to it. Remember, the mage asked, "What do you read?" And she answered, "I cannot tell you. It would change too much." Do I have to explain everything to you?
Okay, so that's basically just confirming that when the mage asked her, "What do you read?" she said that she cannot read it, it would change too much. And that would show that she wasn't a princess after all, and that would make their whole adventure come to an end right there. She'd probably be killed for lying to being a princess, or she'd be just left or taken. But either way, so that would just outright tell everyone that she wasn't a princess. And then also, based on what Kasim said when he said throw her back on the streets, she simply may not know how to read at all. That might be a possibility of that she just might can't just simply can't read, literally. So she wouldn't even know what the word said or what the inscription said, even if she wanted to, because she couldn't read it. But let's just see what happens if I say I still don't understand.
What did Sadja's past have to do with a stone and a scarab?
Geron, the real riddle was never the inscription itself, but rather Sadja's reaction to it. Remember, and she answered. I cannot tell you.
Yeah, that's all the same.
Do I have to?
Alright, I get it.
Oh.
We were fooling ourselves. Now, go into the burial chamber and tell it to the Jinn. Then everything will be all right again.
Okay, so... yeah, I mean, makes so sense to me that Sadja simply couldn't read. Okay, so yeah, that really explains a lot. And it's kind of interesting to look back at the game and to this point and to see Sadja's reaction to, like, when she was with, let's see, who was she with? She was with can't remember his name, but the Furkina, and she had the mask, but she didn't actually know how to read it, and the staff had to basically read it to her, and that's how she memorized, was basically just memorizing the words that the staff said. I think there was one other instance where there was something where she needed to read, but she didn't for whatever reason. But the one about the mask, that one stuck out to me. So I think she simply just cannot read, and that's why she said what she said at the inscription, because she was just a poor girl, and presuming that they take some sort of historical accuracy. Poor people generally weren't as educated as the wealthy, and they wouldn't have gotten that knowledge. So I think Sadja just simply cannot read at all. And also, even if she could read, like I said, then that would change the whole story of the game, where you think she's a princess up until this point, and I suppose this is like kind of the big twist of the game, was that she wasn't a princess after all. She was just this basically no name, I guess, or this forgotten girl on the streets. And it's interesting how it gives her the drive. You can see how she got the drive, because she wants to have her own dynasty, and after being with Kasim and how Kasim treated her, she's got this motivation, this drive to become a somebody, basically, and have her name remembered in all of history, and to go to that battle and just everything that she did led up to the point of where she wanted to be remembered. So I think that's kind of a cool little twist, that basically it was just this girl that nobody knew and was just unknown. And yeah, so anyway, I think that'll do it for this episode. Next time we will head back into the burial chamber, and we will confront Brida, or at least the servant of Satinav, and try and, I guess, get Brida back, and also to undo everything that was just done by Brida. So I will see you guys next time on Memoria. Until then.